certainly an unfamiliar atmosphere out here. It's really just kind of got everyone on edge. We don't really know what's going to happen in the minutes, the moments ahead. Right now, we're just waiting to see who's going to make a move next, whether it's the officers or the individuals that have chosen to remain out here. Somebody just threw a brick towards the officers, didn't end up hitting anyone. Oh, more is being thrown. More bricks are being thrown. I don't have words right now, I'll be honest with you. I just saw a police officer get pelted with a brick. He fell to the ground out here, just a block from where we are. You can still see the fog in the air from the tear gas they just deployed out here to try to get these crowds to back up, disperse. Looks like they're deploying more. We can hear it. And now protesters are throwing firecrackers back. That's right by them. Oh my goodness, that one was mere inches from us. The front entrance, the two glass doors, both of them completely shattered. Take a look at that. As a matter of fact, some of the shards are still falling off. IDOT representatives say that during peak hours, roughly 50,000 cars travel through this area every day. The tornado tore the roof and wall completely off of this house when it ripped through Tuesday evening. And as we walk beyond all of this debris that's left behind, you'll see the garage was also completely collapsed to the ground. Thick green scum overtaking much of Wild Acres Lake is a combination of thousands of algae and duckweed plants. And although it isn't considered harmful to wildlife itself, it could bring about actually harmful vegetation. And that's the reason that residents want it gone. Are you at least able to comment on the car?
To get some water, thank you.
Is that a no? I'm asking seriously.
Turn your camera on.
The app also features a rumble map, allowing users to feel and hear the phenomena as your fingers press against pictures of previous eclipses. Dark areas like the moon are nearly silent with soft vibrations, but these wisps of sunlight peeking out emit lower hum. Take a look at this green Toyota. It is completely covered in debris and a bad odor after being filled with water. The victim tells me that the robbers got quite the surprise when they realized their clean getaway wouldn't be so easy, as he taught them how to drive his car. A man dead and his estranged wife fighting for her life this morning. Arnold police say the man shot his wife in front of their 3 children and then pointed the gun at himself. Lots of outdoor events happening in and around St. Louis today, including the Komen Race for the Cure downtown. Probably some good advice for those runners wearing light clothing, huh? Because it's so hot out there.
So hot.
Former St. Louis Ram Chris Long, this guy right here, stepped into a national debate this fall. He put his hand on the shoulder of teammate Malcolm Jenkins, who was protesting during the national anthem. James Brown sat down with Long and learned there's more to his story. A Missouri Ethics Committee is holding a hearing next week following a lawmaker's controversial words online. A shakeup in the Cardinals clubhouse overnight. Manager Mike Matheny was fired roughly 30 minutes after the game ended. The NTSB says winds reached 73 miles per hour during the tragedy. That's just 2 miles less than hurricane-force winds. The Canadian and U.S. couple that were kidnapped 5 years ago in Afghanistan are back home this morning. Earlier this week, we told you about a little girl getting her last leukemia treatment on Friday. Last night, it was her turn to celebrate victory. Missed the postseason the last 2 seasons, but prior to that, had a pretty stellar output, you know, making 4 playoff appearances, even sending us to a World Series. How do you find somebody to replace a man like that? In Chicago, officers are investigating after a 13-year-old boy was shot in the neck while riding a city bus. Almost 1 month ago, we brought you the story of a Kansas City school bus driver being called a hero. The National Transportation Safety Board hopes a video recorder recovered from the sunken duck boat will provide information on the moments before and during the accident. A California man is behind bars this morning, charged with plotting a Christmas Day terror attack. Several officers are injured after protests turned violent in Chicago last night. Neighbors say the business has been a nuisance ever since it first opened last November. And take a look over my shoulder. Just a few minutes ago, several officers were across the street telling the store owner he can no longer be inside the premises because he doesn't have an occupancy permit.
He made a mistake and opened up on my block.
Scott Fowler's called Carondelet home his entire life. He says the owner of this South Broadway store is bad for the community.
He favors the dope heads, favors the homeless, and favors the prostitution.
Allegedly, prostitutes come in here. I don't ask them, are you a prostitute down on Broadway?
James Green owns this cluttered arts and crafts resale shop. He admits he doesn't have a license to be open. At Green's permit hearing, over 24 nearby residents and businesses filed opposition letters.
He sells clothing and food, and he makes sandwiches.
He also sells paraphernalia in there too. He sells needles.
We've had other people besides Mr. Fowler come forward and claim that you're doing things illegally out of your shop.
Where are they? Where is the police that's coming in here, throwing me down, putting handcuffs on me for doing illegal things?
You don't sell those to anybody, you just have those for yourself.
These here is for my insulin. I use insulin at least 5 times a day.
He clearly has no respect for the ordinances or the laws.
11th Ward Alderwoman Sarah Martin believes Green's days as a store owner are numbered.
The city is aware of what's going on, and I think that the city will do its due diligence in making sure this is shut down.
We reached out to the company that owns this property. We're being told that the person we need to speak with is currently on vacation. Meanwhile, Green tells me that he'll be filing an appeal for his operating license. We'll be sure to follow this story and see how it unfolds. Officers are reviewing surveillance footage in hopes of catching the person who pulled a trigger right in front of an 81-year-old woman's face.
If I would have had something on me, I would have shot back. I would have.
Norma Robinson says she was walking back home after shopping at the Family Dollar on South Broadway around 7 Tuesday night when a man in a dark-colored SUV almost ran her over in the parking lot. After yelling at the driver to slow down, Robinson says he circled back.
And when he raised his arm with the car went down, that's what he did. He aimed straight for my face.
The 81-year-old was shot in the jaw with a BB gun from point-blank range. The great-grandmother's face now swollen.
It penetrated all the way through. And I grabbed my face, and blood was gushing real bad down my hands, my arm, my coat.
X-ray scans show where the pellet penetrated. The metal ball still lodged inside her jaw. Robinson says she's been shopping in this area for over 15 years and has never had any issues with anyone. You've never seen this man before?
Not that I know of. And I was so in shock, I don't know if I could halfway identify him.
But she hopes someone else can before another unsuspecting shopper gets hurt. Will you continue shopping over there on South Broadway?
I don't know. I won't be up there at night. I don't know.
Robinson says her surgery to have that BB pellet removed from her face is set for Friday morning. Meanwhile, she also is certain that a woman who was shopping inside Family Dollar the same time she was there actually got into the suspect's SUV. Now she wants that woman to do the right thing and come forward, turning the man who shot her into police.
And I just stood there and my mouth was open. I just, kind of looked dumb.
Harvard-Smithsonian astrophysicist Dr. Henry Trey Winter says his difficulty describing an eclipse to one of his blind colleagues led to his latest project, an application that does just that.
And we wanted people who are blind and visually impaired to kind of have that same sense of awe.
Dr. Winter tells News 4 he and his team, backed by a grant from NASA, spent 4 months designing eclipse soundscapes. The app knows precisely when the eclipse will start and how long it will last, wherever you are.
During the totality, the moon completely covers the sun's glowing orb.
And when the time comes, it launches a real-time audio description of the cosmic show.
I just don't like people getting left out. I don't like that at all.
The app also features a rumble map, allowing users to feel and hear the phenomena as your fingers press against pictures of previous eclipses. Dark areas like the moon are nearly silent with soft vibrations, but these wisps of sunlight peeking out emit lower hum and more intense vibrations. And the brighter spots have the highest frequencies. An experienced Dr. Winter says users seem to enjoy.
Their faces just light up. They're not used to having things made for them.